So just for context, the other day I was trying to break a few decks, just, an average day for me, and something came to my mind. If that deck can actually abuse the Sprite Engine, why wouldn't I do it? What I'm trying to say is that if your deck can actually run the Sprite Engine without major consequences, then, you kind of should. Basically, with a single Sprite Sprint, which is very easy to achieve, you can actually access Sprite Elf as well as Toad, which is 2 negates and also 2 recoveries of water monsters from the graveyard to the hand with Toad, as well as setting back the 2 cards that you're negating with the Toad. And Sprite Sprint is an absolute joke to summon because all you really need is kind of like 3 generic monsters, you link 2 of them for like a link 2, and then the link 2 with any other monsters, and you're good to go. So yeah, 3 garbage cards on the field is still 2 negates, like bruv. And because of all the follow-up and the resources that you're generating, you're always going to be able to OTK your opponent most likely, or if not, then at least you have a properly summoned Toad in the grave, so that at any point in the grind game, you can make an elf and then revive back the Toad, and keep being in control of the pace of the game from there. So we can all agree on the incredible benefits of the Sprite Engine, but what about the drawbacks? You have to incorporate at least 5 cards in your main deck and 4 cards in your extra deck to make it work, and it's not necessarily going to be optimal unless you're really playing more than 5 cards in the main and 4 cards in the extra deck. So at bare minimum, you're going to be needing at least 1 Nimble Angler. If you want, you can play 2, and then at least 2 Nimble Beavers. If you want, you can play 3, and also 2 Swap Frogs, very, very bare minimum, or 3, or maybe a Dupe Frog instead. And for the extra deck, you're going to be needing 1 Gigantic Splite, 1 Splite Sprint, 1 Splite Elf, as well as the Toad. And that's assuming that you play 0 Sprite monsters in your main deck, so no blue, no jet, no red, no carrot, no smashers, no double cross, none of that. And if you're not playing those Sprite monsters, well, your Gigantic Splite is only going to have like a Swap Frog as your target, which is not really ideal because you're just going to be kind of suffering from redundancy, and you might actually start breaking in a way a little bit more, or have a lower ceiling level in case you have like too many Splite cards, or rather too many level 2 monsters on your board that you can't really do much with outside of making the Toad and Elf combination. And like I said, if you're only playing like 2 Beavers and 1 Angler, drawing the Beaver could actually be a brick, which is not really ideal. But then again, if you play too many Nimbles and too many Swap Frogs or too many Sprite monsters, then you might actually start breaking on them because at the end of the day, they're only just a splashable engine and not really your deck as it is. You're still playing another deck, just incorporating these Sprite level 2 monsters so that you can actually make more negates at the very end of your combo, just as we saw with the Orchest engine back in the days. So I want to say, unless your deck already plays a bunch of level 2 monsters to begin with, it's really not worth, splashing in extra Sprite monsters. Maybe stick to like the bare minimum amount of cards that you need for like the Toad and Elf combo. But even then, you might actually be kind of not down to incorporate that if it makes your deck way less consistent. And another drawback that you might encounter with this engine is that you might start breaking on too many normal summons, and that is not really good. Do you guys think that the Sprite Engine should stop being splashable and only be accessible to the pure Sprite deck, as we kind of saw with, Orchest when the Mermaid got banned, so that they could still play the game, but the other decks couldn't really abuse the Orchest engine as well? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.